Singapore Changi Airport, Changi International Airport, or simply Changi Airport, is the main airport in Singapore. A major aviation hub in Southeast Asia, it is about 17.2 km northeast from the commercial centre in Changi, on a 13 square kilometres site. The airport, operated by the Changi Airport Group, is the home base of Singapore Airlines, Singapore Airlines Cargo, SilkAir, AirAsia, Scoot, Tigerair, Jetstar Asia Airways, and Valuair. As of May 2013, Changi Airport serves more than 100 airlines operating 6,400 weekly flights connecting Singapore to over 250 cities in about 60 countries and territories worldwide. Until March 30, 2013, the airport served as a secondary hub for Qantas, which used Singapore as the main stopover point for flights on the Kangaroo Route between Australia and Europe. Qantas was the largest foreign airline to operate from the airport, with over 2 million passengers annually. An important contributor to the economy of Singapore, more than 28,000 people are employed at the airport, which accounts for over 4.5 billion Singapore dollars in output. Changi Airport has 3 passenger terminals with a total annual handling capacity of 66 million passengers. Terminal 1 opened in 1981, followed by Terminal 2 in 1990 and Terminal 3 in 2008. The budget terminal, opened on March 26, 2006 and closed on September 25, 2012, will make way for Terminal 4 which will be ready by 2017. In 2013, the airport handled 53.1 million passengers, a 5% increase over the previous year. This made it the 5th busiest airport by international passenger traffic in the world and the 2nd busiest in Asia by international passenger traffic in 2012. The airport registered 4.92 million passenger movements in December 2012, a growth of 8.6% year-on-year. Changi's daily record was broken on December 21, 2013, the Saturday before Christmas Day, with 191,800 passengers passing through the 24 hours. In addition to being an important passenger hub, the airport is one of the busiest cargo airports in the world, handling 1.85 million tons of cargo in 2013. The total number of commercial aircraft movements was 343,800 in 2012. The airport has won over 430 awards since 1981, including 30 Best Awards in 2012. Changi Airport's efforts to counter the onset of age include periodic physical upgrades to its existing terminals and building new facilities. History: Singapore's International Airport at Paya Lebar, Singapore's third main civilian airport after Seletar Airport and Kallang Airport, opened in 1955 with a single runway and a small passenger terminal. With growth in global aviation transport, the airport was facing congestion problems. Its inability to cope with the rising traffic became critical by the 1970s. Annual passenger numbers rose dramatically from 300,000 in 1955 to 1.7 million in 1970 and to 4 million in 1975. The government had 2 options: expand the existing airport at Paya Lebar or build a new airport at another location. After extensive study, a decision was made in 1972 to keep the airport at Paya Lebar, as recommended by a British aviation consultant. Plans were made for the building of a second runway and an extensive redevelopment and expansion to the passenger terminal building. A year later, however, the plans were reviewed again as the pressure to expand the airport eased because of the 1973 oil crisis. Concerned that the existing airport was located in an area with potential for urban growth, which would physically hem it in on all sides, the government subsequently decided in 1975 to build a new airport at the eastern tip of the main island at Changi, at the existing site of Changi Air Base, where the new airport would be easily expandable through land reclamation. However, as there was an increase in traffic, the airport still had to be expanded at that time. In addition, aeroplanes could fly over the sea, avoiding noise pollution issues within residential areas like those at Paya Lebar and helping to avoid disastrous consequences on the ground in the event of an air mishap. The airport in Paya Lebar was subsequently converted for military use as the Paya Lebar Air Base. After Singaporean authorities decided to build a new airport, Singaporean government dispatched an inspection team to Taiwan in 1979, watching and learning the design of newly built Changi International Airport. Singaporean staff had immediately adopted Taiwan International Airport's design, a Euro-single terminal with surrounding highways, and 2 runways aside the terminal, making the Changi Airport initially look identical to Taiwan International Airport. Construction. The airport was one of the largest single development projects in Singapore's history. Led by PSA Chairman Howe Yoon Chong, land reclamation works involving over 52 million square meters of landfill and seafill began in June 1975, even as the airport at Paya Lebar was still in the midst of expansion works. About 2 km2 of swamp land was cleared and filled with 12 million am2 of earth from the nearby hills, while another 40 million am2 of sand from the seabed were used to reclaim land. The contractor was Pentaocean Construction, a Japanese construction firm directly involved in numerous land reclamation projects in Singapore. Canals were built to drain water from 3 rivers, Sungai Tanah Bisa, Sungai Air Jamuro and Sungai Mata Ikan. In total, 8.7 km2 were reclaimed, raising the total site area to 13 km2. Of this, landfill accounted for 2 km2 while seafill represented 6.7 km2. The construction also demolished 558 buildings, exhuming around 4,100 graves, a 38.1 cm gun emplacement at Changi, and diverting the 3 streams to the western side of the former Royal Air Force runway, which was to be used for the new 4,000 am runway. All of these works were completed in May 1977. From 1977 to 1979, it was used to pile drive the foundation of Terminal 1 and other buildings as well. The foundation stone for Terminal 1 was laid in August 1979. The 78 am high control tower is built on reclaimed land, with its design becoming an icon for the airport. The original name of the control tower was Airtropolis, but was seldom used. The column-free hangar with an area almost as large as the pad and could hold 3 Boeing 747s. Its roof was constructed in Batam, and was shipped to Singapore in 4 separate sections by barge. A special jetty was built on the coast to obtain fuel from the Western Islands by shipping it round the coast. The fuel is pumped for a mile to the airport fuel station run by 6 oil companies on the northeastern perimeter. The pipelines then leads to all the parking bays through a pipe some 5 am below ground level. The first phase, costing about 1.3 Singapore dollar a billion, opened on July 1, 1981 with the first flight, Singapore Airlines Flight 101, touching down at 0700 hours UTC with 140 passengers from Kuala Lumpur. Officially opened with much fanfare 5 months later on December 29, 1981 by Howe Yoon Chong. The airport had 34 airlines operating 1,200 scheduled flights each week, connecting Singapore to 67 cities in 43 countries. It ended its first year operations with 8.1 million passengers, 193,000 tons of air freight handled and 63,100 aircraft movements. Despite the airport opening in 1981, some sections were not completed. The big aircraft hangar was only completed in 1982, and the second runway was completed only in 1983. This was the year in which the now defunct government department, the Public Works Department, decided to focus on the construction of the second runway on the reclaimed land east of the Terminal 1. The sections of Facility 2 opened progressively over the next few years with the completion of a second runway as well as other facilities. In 1985, the construction work on Terminal 2 started, south of Terminal 1. Terminal 2 was completed in 1989, and was opened in November 1990 with its official opening on June 1, 1991 by Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong. The opening of the second terminal was way ahead of passenger demand. Expansion. The airport has a development policy of always building capacity ahead of demand to avoid congestion problems common in major airports and to maintain high service standards. While the original master plan detailed plans for 2 passenger terminals, provisions were made for further expansion, including the allocation of space for a third terminal planned to have a physical configuration mirroring that of Terminal 2. Construction of this terminal, Terminal 3, began in 1999, at an estimated cost of about $1.75 a billion. Originally planned for completion in 2006, the date was postponed by 2 years after global economic downturn delayed growth of air traffic in the airport. On May 30, 2006, a topping-out ceremony for the terminal was conducted, and an open house was held from November 12, 2007 to December 9, 2007. Test flights were held from November 12 until January 3 where the baggage handling, check-in and ground handling systems were tested. The terminal became operational on January 1, 2007 with Singapore Airlines from San Francisco via Hong Kong being the first flight to arrive at the new terminal at 11:56 local time and SQ318 at 13:15 local time being the first departing flight. The terminal increases the airport's maximum passenger capacity annually by 22 million, bringing the total annual capacity up to 70 million passengers. Also, there is a new full-service 9-story Crowne Plaza hotel immediately adjacent to Terminal 3. Changing needs in the aviation industry led to reviews in the master plan, resulting in the decision to cater to the high-end as well as budget sectors of the air travel industry. Although the pioneering airport to conceptualize and construct a budget terminal in Asia, it became operational on March 26, 2006, and was officially opened on October 31, 2006. A dedicated stand-alone commercially important person terminal operated by Jetstar started operations on August 15, 2006 and officially opened on September 29, 2006. It is the first luxury airport terminal in Asia. Even as new terminals are being built, the airport continuously upgrades and expands its existing terminals. Terminal 1 went through its first major refurbishment in 1995 at a cost of 170 million Singapore dollars, prior to the commencement of expansion works 3 years later to add 14 aero bridges at a cost of 420 million Singapore dollars, which was completed in 1999. Terminal 2 was similarly expanded almost immediately after its opening in 1990, with the addition of 2 piers of aero bridges costing 330 Singapore dollars a million and completed in 1996. In 2002, work commenced on the new Changi Airport SkyTrain as well as the Terminal 2 building, and on September 13, 2006, the airport marked the completion of an extensive upgrade costing 240 million Singapore dollars in Terminal 2, which included an updated glass-fronted facade, interior decor, and terminal layout modifications. To prepare for the arrival of the Airbus A380, the airport put into place modifications works costing 60 Singapore dollars a million, which it has planned for since the late 1990s. These included the building of 19 gates capable of handling the large aircraft, 8 of which are in Terminal 3. Baggage claim carousels, runways, and taxiways were expanded, and 2 new freighter aircraft stands and 2 remote aircraft parking stands built. 2 aircraft taxiway bridges spanning Airport Boulevard leading to the terminals also had shields installed on either side to shield the road from the jet blast. On November 11, 2005, the airport became the first outside Europe to receive the A380 for airport compatibility verification tests, and was the first in the world to have an operational triple-passenger loading bridge fit for trials. Extensive upgrading works in Terminal 1 similar in scale to the recently completed works at Terminal 2 commenced on January 1, 2008 and were completed on January 1, 2012. The 500 million Singapore dollars T1 upgrading project has given the terminal a fresh and rejuvenated look. Works were carried out to refurbish the terminal's interior design and finishes, as well as improve passenger flow at key areas such as the departure check-in hall, departure transit mall and arrival hall. About 22,000 AM2 have also been added to the building, bringing the total floor space of T1 to about 308,000 AM2. The larger floor area provides for more spatial comfort, better passenger flow, additional facilities and expanded retail and F&B offerings. A highlight of the revamped departure check-in hall is the addition of the world's largest kinetic art sculpture. Known as Kinetic Rain, this sculpture is made up of a total of 1,216 bronze droplets, moving in synchrony to a specially choreographed dance every day. Resurfacing works costing 50 million Singapore dollars on its dual runways and older taxiways were announced in January 2007, along with improvements to the security systems of Changi Airport, such as access controls and surveillance systems to make the airport safer for travellers. Transport Minister Raymond Lim also added that the software of the airport had to be improved as well. Terminal 3 was tested in 2007 to prepare for its 2008 opening. From May 2008 to July 2012, Terminal 1 was upgraded at a cost of 500 million Singapore dollars. In 2006, a short runway was opened for Changi Air Base on the site, an interim measure in preparation for its eventual expansion for passenger flights. It will be the first element in what may double the area of the existing airport in the next few decades. On March 1, 2012, Changi Airport Group announced that the budget terminal will be closed in September 2012 to make way for Terminal 4, which will be able to serve 16 million passengers a year. It will be designed to enable efficient passenger processing and quick turnaround of aircraft, and will not have aerobridges. The new terminal will also have a wide choice of retail and food and beverage offerings, as well as passenger amenities that will better serve the needs of passengers. On March 7, 2012, Minister of State for Transport Josephine Teo announced in Parliament that a new multi-storey complex at the current Terminal 1 car park will be built. The facility will house dedicated facilities to support fly cruise and fly coach travel options. When ready, Terminal 1's capacity will increase from 21 million to 24 million passengers per annum. Recently, Changi Airport has also announced plans to reduce consumption of electricity and use recycled water at its terminal buildings over the next 3 years, as part of its contribution towards environmental sustainability. Currently, Changi Airport's annual terminal building electricity consumption is about 450 million kilowatt-hour. The target will see Changi Airport reducing its terminal buildings' electricity usage by about 13.5 million kilowatt-hour, generating savings of about 2.4 Singapore dollars a million over the next 3 years. Minister of State for Transport Josephine Teo, who leads a 10-member multi-agency committee that has been working on the blueprint, which includes the construction of Terminal 5, the airport's biggest passenger facility, a third runway for commercial flights, cargo complexes and other supporting infrastructure for around 18 months. Announced on August 19, 2013 by Changi Airport Group, a new mixed-use complex will be developed on the car park site fronting Terminal 1 and will optimize the use of the 3.5-hectare plot of land. Construction of the new facility will begin next year. Codenamed Project Jewel, the complex will offer aviation and travel-related facilities, a wide range of retail offerings, as well as unique leisure attractions. The redevelopment will also expect Terminal 1 to be expanded to allow more space for the arrival hall, baggage claim areas and taxi bays, enabling T1's passenger handling capacity to increase to 24 million passenger movements per annum. Changi will be working with Capita Malls Asia on the concept and plans of Project Jewel. The completion of the complex would expect a joint venture partnership between Changi and Capita Malls Asia to develop and manage Project Jewel. Project Jewel is also being designed to be architecturally iconic, with an impressive view of the complex from both the airport boulevard and the sky. It will be designed by a consortium of design consultants led by world-renowned architect Moshe Safdie, who designed Marina Bay Sands. A key feature of the complex will be a large-scale, lush indoor garden with a breathtaking waterfall. To be seamlessly connected to Terminals 1, 2 and 3, Project Jewel will serve as a node linking the 3 terminals, improving inter-terminal connectivity. Accidents and incidents. March 26, 1991, Singapore Airlines Flight 117, an Airbus A310 that departed from Kuala Lumpur, was hijacked by 4 men en route to Singapore. The hijackers wanted the plane refueled so that they could fly to Australia. When the plane landed in Singapore, commandos stormed the flight, killing the 4 Pakistani hijackers, and leaving all other passengers and crew unhurt. December 19, 1997, SilkAir Flight 185, a Boeing 737 that departed from Indonesia's Soekarno-Hatta International Airport to Singapore's Changi Airport crashed from apparent pilot suicide. November 4, 2010, Qantas Flight 32, Airbus A380 Nancy Bird Walton, VHOQA, suffered a serious failure of its left inboard engine. The flight landed safely, and all 440 passengers and 24 crew on board were unharmed. Cowling parts of the failed engine fell on Batam Island. Infrastructure. Given limited land resources in Singapore, the airport was designed for both current and future needs as the country's primary airport. The airport was designed to be capable of doubling in size using reclaimed land with enough space for 2 more runways and at least 2 new passenger terminal buildings. The master plan for the existing airport initially involved a dual terminal and dual runway configuration over 2 phases with provisions for another 2 passenger terminals in the near future. Phase 1 included the construction for the first passenger terminal, the first runway, 45 aircraft parking bays, support facilities and structures, including a large maintenance hangar, the first fire station, workshops and administrative offices, an air freight complex, 2 cargo agents buildings, in-flight catering kitchens and an ATAM control tower. Construction for the second phase would commence immediately after the completion of Phase 1 and include the second runway, 23 additional aircraft parking bays, a second fire station and a third cargo agents building. Air Traffic Control Tower. The Air Traffic Control Tower was constructed as part of Phase 1 of the Changi Airport redevelopment plan and it is 80 meters high. T4 will also have its own ramp control tower to oversee and manage aircraft movements in the apron and taxiways around the terminal. This tower is needed to enhance the Changi Airport air traffic control as a Euro 1 registered trademark visual line of sight of aircraft parking stands and associated taxiways near the southern end of runway 2. The 68-meter-tall ramp control tower will provide clearance to pilots on when they can push back from the gates, as well as give instructions on which taxiway to be used, before handing over communications to the Changi Air Traffic Control Tower. Runways. Changi Airport has 2 parallel runways, O2L/20L and O2C/20C, each 4,000 by 60 am. O2L/20L was completed and opened in 1981 as part of the airport's first phase. It has a displaced threshold of 740 am, leaving the rest of the runway at 3,260 am long. O2C/20C, formerly O2A/20L, was built completely on reclaimed land and opened with Valuair 2, 1.6 km apart from O2L/20R. 4 instrument landing systems are installed on the 2 runways to guide landing aircraft safely under all weather conditions. Both runways are also used by the Republic of Singapore Air Force as part of Changi Air Base. A new parallel runway O2A/20L was built 1.8 km to the east of O2C/20C, currently used only by Republic of Singapore Air Force aircraft as part of Changi Air Base. The existing runway 3, currently used by the military, will be extended from 2.75 km to 4 km to handle larger passenger aircraft. Almost 40 km of new taxiways will also be built to connect the runway with the current airport. New facilities such as navigation aids, airfield lighting systems and a fire station will need to be built as well. There will also be a 4th runway at Changi East which was announced during the National Day rally speech in 2013. Passenger terminals. Changi Airport currently has 3 terminals, T1, T2, and T3, with a total annual handling capacity of 66 million. Terminals 1, 2 and 3 are directly connected via a monorail people mover system, with airside passengers being able to freely move between the terminals without going through immigration. Transport within and between these 3 terminals is also provided by people movers and the SkyTrain system, although it is also possible to walk between the terminals on foot for landside visitors. A former budget terminal, capable of handling 7 million passengers per year, was purpose-built for low-cost carriers. It was physically separated from the main terminals towards the south, where connections were possible via a free shuttle bus service to and from Terminal 2. Demolition began in 2013 to make way for a new and bigger Terminal 4, designed to cater mainly to budget carriers and regional airlines that operate single-aisle aircraft. Terminal 1. Singapore Changi Airport's oldest terminal, operated as the sole terminal from its opening on July 1, 1981 right up until the opening of Terminal 2 9 years later. Configured in a H-shaped layout to maximize the number of aero bridges which may be built, it underwent 2 major upgrading works over its lifespan. A major refurbishment was completed in 1995 at a cost of 170 million Singapore dollars, and work to extend 2 finger piers to add 14 aero bridges at a cost of 420 million Singapore dollars took place from 1996 to 1999. Today, the terminal spans an area of 308,000 mi² and can accommodate a maximum passenger capacity of 21 million passengers a year. On March 7, 2012, Minister of State for Transport Josephine Teo said that the open-air car park between Terminal 1 and Changi's iconic control tower will be redeveloped into a multi-use complex. This new complex will be integrated with the existing building, and will increase Terminal 1's public areas, pickup driveways, and car park spaces. With this expansion, Terminal 1's handling capacity will increase from 21 to 24 million passengers per annum. The expansion of Terminal 1 will go together with Terminal 4. As of July 12, 2012, a $500 million facelift for Terminal 1 has completed. It will be the terminal's biggest overhaul to date, involving works on its facade and halls under a theme called Tropical City. About 22,000 AM2 have been added to the building, bringing the total floor space of T1 to about 308,000 AM2. The larger floor area provides for more spatial comfort, better passenger flow, additional facilities and expanded retail and F&B offerings. The refurbishment includes the installation of a 2-part kinetic sculpture, Kinetic Rain, billed as the largest kinetic sculpture in the world. The southwest finger of Level 3 of Terminal 1 has the head offices of Jetstar Asia Airways and Valuair. Scoot also has its head office inside Terminal 1. Terminal 2. Terminal 2 opened on November 22, 1990 as part of Phase 2 in the original airport master plan. Deploying a linear configuration parallel to the runways, it is located adjacent to Terminal 1 towards the south, and heralded the opening of the original SkyTrain system linking the 2 terminals via the landside. All Singapore Airlines and SilkAir flights moved to the new terminal when it opened, along with several Southeast Asian carriers including Malaysia Airlines, Philippine Airlines, PAL Express, and Royal Brunei Airlines. They were joined by several airlines, some of which are allied to Singapore Airlines, in particular Lufthansa, both fellow Star Alliance members. Air France was a former user before moving back to Terminal 1. Other former users include Air Canada and Austrian Airlines, which ceased operations to Changi in October 2006. Etihad Airways was the latest airline to operate from Terminal 2 when it commenced flights in September 2007. All Nippon Airways moved to Terminal 2 from October 1, 2008. Now Singapore Airlines flights departing for Southeast Asia, Indian subcontinent, the Middle East and Africa use this terminal. Airlines operating at Budget Terminal, including Tigerair, and Cebu Pacific, moved to Terminal 2 as the Budget Terminal closed for site redevelopment. The 4th story of the terminal houses the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore. In addition, Terminal 2 houses the offices of the Air Accident Investigation Bureau of Singapore and Changi Airport Group. On July 15, 2013, Changi Airport unveiled its latest themed garden that boasts a dramatic display of vibrant colors and interactive technology, a first for Changi Airport, which has pioneered the concept of airport gardens since its opening in 1981. The new Enchanted Garden Changi Airport's 5th themed garden takes pride in the spot where the Fern Garden once stood. It is open, free of charge, to passengers round the clock. An interactive and immersive experience, the Enchanted Garden magically comes to life with sight and sound, captivating visitors as they weave through the garden. Motion sensors trigger sounds of nature and blooming flowers, while fiber optic and LED lighting, embedded in the flooring, form a fascinating carpet of sparkling lights. There is also a pond containing archfish and koi. Terminal 3. Terminal 3 became operational on January 1, 2007, increasing the airport's annual passenger capacity by 22 million. The test flight out of Terminal 3 was a Singapore Airlines flight from Singapore to Perth. The flight departed T3 at 5:30 p.m. local time, landing in Perth International Airport at approximately 11:30 p.m. The terminal has 28 aero bridge gates, with 8 capable of handling the Airbus A380. While the other 2 terminals use separate waiting areas for different gates, Terminal 3 has common waiting areas for some of the gates. Designed by CPG Corporation, with Skidmore, Owings and Merrill designing the roof feature and interior design by Woodhead, Terminal 3 departs from the largely utilitarian architecture in the first 2 terminals. Like other new airports in the region, it has a structure mainly made of glass, with big transparent spaces inside the terminal. However, unlike these newer airports, it incorporates natural features and warm tone extensively to balance the sterile feel of glass and steel. For example, the column is given a wood-like cladding and the floor of the terminal is mostly cream/beige color. The roof has been designed to allow natural light to enter the building, with 919 skylights. A 5 am high green wall with hanging creepers and waterfall was incorporated to enhance the tropical feel. The green wall, designed by Singapore-based landscape design firm Tigerair Design, also helps to regulate the internal temperature of the terminal with the occasional misting. The interior architecture of Terminal 3 recently won the Honor Award from ASLA, bringing another coveted award to Changi Airport. Singapore Airlines operated the first flights into Terminal 3 on March 1, 2007, with Flight SQ001 from San Francisco via Hong Kong arriving at 11:50 hours to a welcome ceremony by Minister for Transport and Second Minister for Foreign Affairs, Lim Siang Keat Raymond, and the Chairman of CAG, Leo Mun Leong. The first departure flight, SQ318, took off at 12:50 hours bound for London Heathrow. Since then, its regional and long-haul flights bound for North-South America, Europe, East Asia and Oceania depart from the new terminal, while all other flights depart from Terminal 2, becoming the first and only airline to operate from multiple terminals in Changi Airport. China Eastern Airlines, Jet Airways, Qatar Airways and United Airlines also moved operations to the terminal on January 1, 2008, while Kingfisher Airlines launched services to Singapore using T3 in 2009. Garuda Indonesia, Saudi Arabian Airlines, Vietnam Airlines and Sri Lankan Airlines have also moved operations to T3 in 2011. In 2013, Asiana Airlines and Lion Air have also moved operations to T3. Ethiopian Airlines also operates from Terminal 3. Spring Airlines is the newest airline to operate from Terminal 3. Old Budget Terminal. Changi Airport was the second in Asia to open a dedicated terminal catering to the budget traveler. The name of the budget terminal was decided as a result of a naming contest open to the public. The terminal is not included in the numbering scheme, even though it is the third terminal to be opened when it opened on March 26, 2006, and Terminal 3 is actually the fifth terminal opened at the airport. To offer lower landing fees, handling fees and airport taxes, it cuts back on amenities such as aero bridges, elaborate physical structures and decorations in the passenger terminal building. A range of duty-free shops and food and beverage outlets, and free internet terminals are available. There is no transfer facility at the budget terminal. Passengers who need to make transfers need to clear immigration, collect their luggage, clear customs, make their way to the main terminal by taking the zero-fare shuttle buses and check in again with the respective airline. In September 2008, expansion works costing $10 a million began and took 7 months to complete. The terminal was then able to handle 7 million passengers a year, up from originally 2.7 million. There are more boarding gates, check-in counters, shops and dining options. In addition, air conditioning has been installed for arriving passengers. On March 2, 2012, it was announced that the budget terminal would be closed on September 25, 2012 and demolished to make way for Terminal 4. All airlines previously operating from the budget terminal moved to Terminal 2, after the last flight departed budget terminal at 2 a.m. on September 25. Construction of Terminal 4 began in 2013, and is expected to be completed by 2017. It will have a capacity for 16 million passengers per annum, up from the previous 7 million of the budget terminal, and will not have aerobridges. It also promises to have a wider choice of retail and food and beverage offerings compared to the current budget terminal. Terminal 4 will be designed to enable efficient passenger processing and quick turnaround of aircraft. That is because once the ASEA and Open Skies agreement is in place by 2015, passenger traffic will likely grow by at least 5% each year. On September 25, 2012, Budget Terminal officially closed its doors to the public, with its airlines operations moved to Terminal 2 on the same day. On February 1, 2013, demolition work for the budget terminal started and was completed by June 2013. Terminal 4. The construction of the new Terminal 4 commenced in November 2013. With a focus on low-cost carrier airlines, it is intended to automate most of the facility. Under a new concept of fast and seamless travel, it will see options such as self-service check-in and automated baggage drop, immigration clearance and departure gates dominate in the new building. The new Terminal 4 will be a two-story, 25-meter-high building with a gross floor area of 195,000 square meters. The design, inspired from an orchid petal, will have a theme that is fun, vibrant and positively surprising. It will be a terminal that incorporates thoughtful, passenger-friendly facilities, and to add some touches of Singapore's heritage, the transit area will even feature facades of old Peranakan shop houses along the retail area. 17 stands will be available for narrow-body aircraft, 4 stands for wide-body planes. A bridge across Airport Boulevard will be constructed to enable buses and other airside vehicles to move from T4 to distant aircraft stands. To facilitate the smooth movement of passengers boarding aircraft at the remote stands, T4 will also house a centralized departure bus lounge with up to 9 bus bays. There will also be a new dedicated 68-meter-high ramp control tower constructed. While great emphasis has been placed on high technology within the new terminal space, it will be connected to the Terminal 2 by a conventional airport shuttle bus rather than the automated SkyTrain that links the other terminals. The terminals showcases a 300-meter-long central galleria which separates the public zone from the restricted zone. The terminal's visual transparent concept will provide clear visibility from the check-in hall of the attractive offerings in the transit lounge. Local cultural and heritage items will be used in decorating the terminal interior. The retail space will feature traditional Peranakan shopfront facades. Completion of the terminal is expected in 2017. T4 will also have its own ramp control tower to oversee and manage aircraft movements in the apron and taxiways around the terminal. This tower is needed to enhance the Changi Airport Air Traffic Controller Euro-1 registered trademark visual line of sight of aircraft parking stands and associated taxiways near the southern end of runway 2. The 68-meter-tall ramp control tower will provide clearance to pilots on when they can push back from the gates, as well as give instructions on which taxiway to be used, before handing over communications to the Changi Air Traffic Control Tower. Concurrent with the development of Terminal 4, major airfield works will also be undertaken at Changi Airport to increase the number of aircraft parking stands to support the needs of all airlines operating at Changi. A 38-hectare land plot south of Terminal 3, housing the airport nursery as well as a reservoir, will be converted into an aircraft parking area to house 17 narrow-body and 9 wide-body aircraft stands. An overhead vehicular bridge across Airport Boulevard will be constructed to enable buses and other airside vehicles to move from T4 to these aircraft stands. Including new aircraft stands to be constructed at the T4 site, the number of parking stands at Changi Airport will be increased by 24% to more than 180. Cathay Pacific is the first airline that will operate at Changi Airport's Terminal 4 when it opens in 2017. Passengers of Hong Kong's flag carrier will also, for the first time at Changi Airport, and will base at least 3 aircraft and enjoy fast and seamless travel initiatives that will be rolled out terminal-wide. A full and integrated suite of self-service options will be offered at key passenger touchpoints such as check-in, bag drop, immigration and boarding in T4. Departing passengers will enjoy faster processing via the automated channels, as well as greater autonomy of their time spent at the airport, as their journey at T4 will no longer be limited by the operating hours of manual check-in counters. Cathay Pacific's passengers can also look forward to a new and exclusive premium lounge on the second mezzanine level of the new terminal. At more than 800 square meters, it is larger than the full-service carrier's current lounge at Terminal 1, with views into the apron and runway, offering passengers in the lounge sightings of aircraft takeoffs and landings. Project Jewel, announced in August 2013, this is a new terminal structure intended as a mixed-use complex. It will be situated on a 3.5-hectare site where the Terminal 1 car park now resides. Essentially a new multi-story underground car park will replace the existing facilities, while an indoor garden, with a waterfall, is built above. The new building will sit between the 3 existing terminal buildings, enabling passengers to transfer via the new complex, whilst being an attraction and shopping destination in itself. The design will consist of a circular structure, reminiscent of a donut, with a large garden located at the center and water falling from the edge of the circular atrium opening. As part of the project, Terminal 1 will be expanded to allow more space for the arrival hall, baggage claim areas and taxi bays. These enhancements will increase T1's passenger handling capacity to 24 million passenger movements per annum. The Changi Airport Group envisages Project Jewel to be a world-class, signature lifestyle destination that will capture the imagination of tourists and promises to be a destination for Singaporeans as well. Terminal 5, a fifth terminal, Terminal 5 will be ready in the next decade as announced by Transport Minister, Louis Tuckyu on May 7, 2013. Terminal 5 will be built on 1,080 hectares of reclaimed land in Changi East, making it one of the largest terminals in the world. The terminal could handle a capacity of 30 to 50 million passengers annually. With the addition of the fifth terminal, Changi Airport will be able to cater to more than 85 million passengers every year. With the national carrier at Terminal 5, each alliance of airlines such as SkyTeam and Oneworld could also operate out of dedicated terminals. If so, aviation experts say this will contribute to a more seamless travel experience. Terminal 5 is also expected to have more self-service facilities and bigger lounges. Terminal 5 will be linked to the other terminals at Changi Airport. This will allow the expanded Changi Airport to be operated as a single, integrated airport for ease of transfer between different terminals, maximum passenger convenience and airfield operational efficiency. Being a mega-terminal, Terminal 5 will introduce new modes of operation for the airport operator and government agencies, and other stakeholders such as airlines, ground handlers, air cargo operators and maintenance, repair and overhaul service providers. The Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore will be seeking views from these stakeholders over the next 2 months to further refine the layout. The concept plan is expected to be finalized in the first half of 2014. In order to create a contiguous and integrated airfield, the existing Changi Coast Road and the Park Connector beside it will be replaced with a new at-grade road and Park Connector further east, along the eastern coastline. Works are expected to start in the second half of 2014. The road infrastructure will be improved to ensure convenient access to Terminal 5. The terminal will also be connected to the MRT network. More details will be released after engineering studies are completed. The adequacy of bus services to the airport will also be reviewed. These plans will ensure that all airport users and staff are able to travel to the airport easily and conveniently. JetKey CIP Terminal. JetKey CIP Terminal is a privately run terminal, located next to T2. JetKey provides private check-in, baggage handling, and immigration clearance services. It is the second luxury airport terminal in world to open after the Lufthansa first-class terminal in Frankfurt Airport. However, unlike the Lufthansa first-class terminal, JetKey is an elite, dedicated CIP terminal that can be used by any passenger traveling in any class, on any airline, through any of the main terminals. Airport Hotel. The Crowne Plaza Changi Airport is located within the immediate vicinity of Changi Airport. Linked to Terminal 3 via covered walkways, the 9-story hotel has 320 guest rooms, a 100-seater Crowne Plaza Club Lounge, and executive-class amenities such as restaurants, meeting rooms, conference rooms, spa lounges, a swimming pool and a health and fitness club. Guests are also able to access Terminals 1 and 2 via the SkyTrain service that links all three terminal buildings. Transit Hotel. Passengers can book a comfortable room without having to clear immigration at the Ambassador Transit Hotel. Guests can indulge in a wide variety of Singapore favorites and international cuisines at the Transit Hotel's casual restaurants. Transit hotels are located all three terminals. Airbus A380 operations, with Changi-based Singapore Airlines being the launch customer for the Airbus A380, works to ensure full capability in handling the large aircraft were given priority in time for its introduction in October 2007. The Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore spent 60 million Singapore dollars in upgrading the two existing terminals and airport infrastructure, including enlarged gate hold rooms, new finger piers, and extended baggage belt carousels from the normal 70 am to 90 am. With these new carousels in place, the airport does not expect embarking and disembarking passengers and baggage from the A380 to take longer than it does from a Boeing 747-400, which carries fewer passengers. On August 16, 2005, Changi Airport unveiled the first of 11 specially built gates capable of handling the giant aircraft. Costing 15 million Singapore dollars, the gates or fingers enable passengers to board the upper deck of the new 555-seater aircraft directly from the gate hold rooms. The hold rooms themselves have been enlarged and appointed to cater for the larger number of passengers aboard an A380. Beside the 11 new A380-capable gates at Terminals 1 and 2, 8 more A380-capable gates were opened at Terminal 3 on January 9, 2008. Since the first A380 flight took off from Singapore to Sydney in 2007, Changi Airport has handled more than 20,000 A380 flights. Today, Changi Airport is the world's busiest multi-carrier A380 hub, with more than 200 weekly A380 flights. Self-boarding gates. Passengers at Changi Airport will soon be able to board their flights faster, with the introduction of self-boarding gates. The Changi Airport Group has been conducting trials of the self-boarding gates at a common gate hold room in Terminal 2 since May with Lufthansa. The self-boarding gates are just one component of a fast and seamless travel initiative which CAG will be rolling out across terminals at the airport. Since April 2014, the gates have been progressively introduced in common gate hold rooms in all three terminals. Self-check-in, bag tagging and bag drop. The ongoing trial of a number of self-service functions Euro check-in, bag tagging and bag drop Euro will run for about 3 months until August 2014. It will enable CAG to assess improvements and adjustments needed for the hardware and software of the various systems. Feedback from passengers will also be sought to fine-tune the operations and processes to achieve a better user experience. 2 self-bag drop units and 4 self-check-in kiosks have been fitted alongside the Jetstar check-in counters in Terminal 1. Passengers on selected Jetstar flights are invited to use these self-service options. At the self-check-in kiosk, passengers print their boarding pass as well as baggage tag after checking in. After tagging their baggage, they can drop it off at the self-bag drop counter. A receipt is provided for checked-in baggage. Instructional videos and signs are available to guide passengers, and on-ground staff are also present to provide assistance. Since the trial started in early May, about 1,000 passengers have used the fast facilities. The automation of the check-in process will see productivity gains, better use of resources, enhanced operational efficiency and long-term cost savings. For example, the overall passenger handling capacity of existing airport infrastructure can be increased as less space will be needed to check in the same number of passengers. This allows airlines to better optimize their resources to serve their passengers. Ground handling agents can focus on providing more personalized forms of service. CAG has received strong expressions of interest from airlines to move to self-service options. It expects more airlines to come on board the Fast at Changi program, with more kiosks to be made available. Airlines and destinations. Passenger airlines. Note: one Turkish Airlines flight from Istanbul to Jakarta includes a stopover at Singapore. However, Turkish Airlines does not have rights to transport passengers solely between Singapore and Jakarta. Note: 2 Uzbekistan Airways' flight from Tashkent to Singapore includes a stopover at Kuala Lumpur. However, Turkish Airlines does not have rights to transport passengers solely between Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. Cargo airlines, charter and seasonal airlines, based on CAPA, SilkAir operates to Singapore. Airlines with interest to operate to Singapore are Air Astana, Air New Zealand, Cambodia Air, Citylink, Jin Air and Yangon Airways. Airlines based in Changi, airlines which have a current air operator certificate issued by the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore. Services. Changi Airport is a top airport in terms of customer service and security and has won over 390 awards and accolades as best airport since its opening in 1981, from organizations such as Skytrax and Business Traveller. Passenger services. The airport has over 70,000 am2 of space spread between its three main terminals for shopping and eating outlets, with Terminal 3 having the largest amount of retail space at 20,000 am2. Extensive upgrading work on existing retail areas since 2004 in Terminals 1 and 2 has increased sales 13.3% in the first half of 2005 year-on-year over 2004, and as much as 67% compared to the same period in 2003, with brands such as Prada, Gucci, Bulgari and Hermès opening outlets during this period. The first FIFA official store in the world was opened in Terminal 3, along with Asia's first Ferrari travel retail shop. From two different lounges with 24-hour napping areas, showers and spa facilities, to hotel and pool amenities, this airport also includes Singapore tours, nature trail and comprehensive dining and entertainment options. In terms of sales, the airport outstrips other shopping malls in Singapore, including those in top tourist spot Orchard Road. The Changi Airport Group derives 55% of its total annual revenue from non-aeronautical sources, such as office and warehouse rental. The airport derives the majority of its commercial revenue from the duty-free shopping, with the most popular items being liquor and tobacco, perfume and cosmetics, and luxury goods. In addition to a wide array of duty-free shops and eating outlets, Changi Airport has 5 garden areas, some outdoors and some indoors. Open to customers of the airport, the gardens are, Cactus Garden, Sunflower Garden, Orchid Garden, Enchanted Garden, and Butterfly Garden. Changi Airport has numerous business centers located around the airport. Within the international transit area of the interconnected Terminals 1, 2 and 3, internet and games facilities, prayer rooms, showers, spas, gym, swimming pool and a hotel are provided. Various lounge areas are provided, some including children's play areas or televisions showing news, movie and sport channels. Aviation services, ground handling. Ground handling services are handled by 2 companies, Singapore Airport Terminal Services and NATA. SATS is the dominant player with close to 70% of the market in the airport. NATA Singapore, formerly Changi International Airport Services, was formed in 1977 by the Port of Singapore Authority and 5 airlines and Lufthansa. It handles the remaining market share. In the early 2000s, the government decided to introduce competition into the market by offering an additional license. Swiss's Swissport won the 10-year license and commenced operations on March 2, 2005. As Swissair folded and was subsequently taken over by Swiss International Airlines, the latter became the company's first customer. Adam Air chose Swissport as its ground handler in 2005, while Tigerair Airways followed suit in 2006. Other customers of Swissport include Swiss World Cargo, AirAsia, and Tigerair. Former customers of Swissport include Australian Airlines. Swissport ceased operation on March 31, 2009 due to massive losses. Asia Pacific Star was launched on April 1, is a subsidiary of SATS, and is the new player concentrating mainly on budget carriers. It handles Tigerair Airways, Southeast Asian Airlines, Jetstar Asia, Valuair, Valuair. CIAS underwent restructuring when its shareholding was bought over by Dubai's IATA in 2004, being relaunched in August 2011 with a new branding. Its security services were amalgamated into the new Tomas Condito Security Management. U.S.-based Aircraft Service International Group was granted a 10-year ground handling license starting from January 2012, enabling it to provide passenger and cargo handling services to some 100 airlines operating at Changi Airport, although it has yet to secure any customer. Aircraft maintenance: 6 aircraft hangars, capable of full aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul, is operated and managed by SIA Engineering Company at Changi Air Freight Center and a single hangar by SASCO Saint Aerospace. It includes a 20,000 am 2-column free hangar at SIA Engineering Company, Hangar 1, which was the world's largest when opened in 1981. Safety and security. The Changi Airport Group manages the overall safety and security of the airport. The Airport Management Division of the CAG manages the customer aspects of the airport's security, while the Aviation Security Unit oversees the airport's compliance with aviation security policies, manages AVSEC-related projects. Operationally, the airport's emergency and firefighting services are handled by the Airport Emergency Service Division of the CAG. The AES handles all instances of rescue and firefighting within the airport premises as well as in surrounding waters through its specialists operating from 2 main fire stations, a fire substation and a sea rescue base around the airport. The airport's security comes under the regulatory purview of the Airport Police Division of the Singapore Police Force. The day-to-day discharge of security functions at the airport are performed by auxiliary police forces including ICAO Security Management, Certis Cisco and SATS Security Services, of which ICAO's and SATS Security Services are affiliated to the ground handling companies of IATA and Singapore Airport Terminal Services respectively. On April 29, 2008, CAAS then signed its biggest single security contract for all airport-related security services by engaging Certis Cisco to provide security services at Changi Airport, as well as Seletar Airport, Changi Air Freight Center, and the Singapore Air Traffic Control Center. It involves the deployment of about 2,600 Certis Cisco personnel, including armed auxiliary police officers and unarmed aviation security officers to perform tasks including screening checked baggage, controlling access to restricted areas, and screening passengers before they board their aircraft. Since the 11th September 2001 attacks and naming of the airport as a terrorism target by the Jemaah Islamiyah, the airport's security has been stepped up. Roving patrol teams consisting of SAF and SPF officers, armed with assault rifles or submachine guns, patrol the terminals at random intervals. Officers from the Gurkha contingent are also deployed to patrol the transit areas of the terminal buildings. These measures come at a cost partly borne by travelers in the form of a passenger security service charge, imposed since 2002. In 2005, an upgrade in screening technology and rising security concerns led to luggage screening processes being conducted behind closed doors, as opposed to them being done just before check-in previously within public view. Carry-on luggage and persons screening are conducted at the individual departure gates, while check-in luggage are screened in the back rooms and secured before loading. CCTVs are also in place to monitor passenger activity around the clock and check on suspicious parcels and activity. A perimeter intrusion detection system for Changi Airport's perimeter fence has also been put in place to further strengthen security of the airfield. While a biometric access control system for staff movement has been put in place since 2006. In view of the 2006 transatlantic aircraft plot, security screening checks have been stepped up on passengers and their hand-carry luggage, as well as checked-in luggage on flights bound for destinations in the United Kingdom and the United States from Changi. Operations, passenger operations. As all passenger traffic out of the airport is international in nature, the 4 major terminals in operation are equipped with immigration processing facilities for international travel. After recovering from a drop in passenger traffic as a result of the severe acute respiratory syndrome epidemic in 2003, the airport saw rapid growth in traffic which hit the 30 million mark for the first time a year later in 2004. In March 2008 and prior to the full effect of the financial crisis of 2007 (2010) on the global economy, the airport predicted that it will handle 50 million passengers by 2012, with increases due to the opening of casinos in Singapore, together with the phased liberalization of the ASEAN aviation sector. The airport surpassed the 46 million mark for the first time in 2011. For the last set of full-year figures published by the airport, it handled 51,181,804 passengers in 2012, a 10% increase over the 2011 fiscal year. The airport recorded its busiest month in December 2011 and its busiest day on December 22, 2012 with 180,400 passengers handled. 51,181,804 passengers passed through Changi Airport in 2012, which is more than twice Australia's population. It also handled more than 60 million bags. Lined up, it is 2.8 times the length of the Great Wall of China. Key markets. The LCC market in the airport expanded rapidly since the opening of the budget terminal. The terminal handled about 657,000 passengers by October 26, 2006, 6 months after its opening in March. LCC flights in Changi constituted 11.3% of total flights in October 2006 compared to 9.6% in April the same year. The terminal handled its 1 millionth passenger at the end of 2006. A monthly record of 4.53 million passenger movements was registered in December 2011, which marks an increase of 11.4% compared to December 2010. On December 17, 2011, Changi has also set a new record of 165,000 passenger movements in the day. In 2011, LCCs accounted for about 25% of passengers carried and 28.6% of flight movements. In 2010, Indonesia was the largest market for Singapore Changi Airport with 5 million passengers. Cargo. The air cargo division of the Changi Airport Group manages the Changi Air Freight Center located in the north of the airport premises. The airport handled 1.81 million tons of air cargo in 2012, making it the 7th busiest air freight hub in the world and the 5th busiest in Asia. Due to Singapore's large electronics sector, electrical components constitute a significant part of the total cargo traffic handled at the airport, although it has initiated attempts to diversify into the perishable air cargo market. In 2012, Changi Airport handled 1,806,225 tons of freight, which is close to the weight of 14,500 blue whales. Air Cargo World awarded Changi Airport the 2013 Air Cargo Excellence Award for airports handling more than 1 million tons of cargo in Asia. Ground transportation. Changi Airport was built with ground transportation considerations in mind from the onset, with the East Coast Parkway built and opened in tandem with the airport, providing a direct link to the city centre. At a distance of about 20 km, the expressway was built almost entirely on reclaimed land, thus minimizing disruptions to the existing road network in Singapore's east coast. While configured in a compact configuration such that the 3 main passenger terminal buildings are sited adjacent to each other, allowing for travelers to venture between terminals on foot, the Changi Airport SkyTrain People Mover system was added to facilitate quicker and more convenient transfers. The system was upgraded in 2007 to Mitsubishi technology, connecting to Terminal 3 and separating checked-in passengers from the general public on distinct tracks. Inter-terminal transportation. The Changi Airport SkyTrain operates between Terminals 1, 2 and 3, with a total of 7 stations. The trains have separate cars for airside and landside passengers. Initially built in the early 1990s as a shuttle between Terminals 1 and 2 using Bombardier Innovia APM 100, the system was revamped to use the Crystal Mover in 2006 and extended to Terminal 3 in 2007. The service is free of charge and operates between 5:30 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. daily. External connections, rail. The airport is connected to the Mass Rapid Transit network, with Changi Airport MRT station located underground between Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 and directly accessible from both terminals. A direct, one-train service to the downtown and western parts of Singapore was initially in operation when the station opened on February 8, 2002. This was replaced by the current shuttle service between Changi Airport and Tanah Merah MRT stations on July 22, 2003, when it was found that few passengers actually use this route, compared to the number of commuters who need to travel from the city to Tampines and Valuair. Cross-platform transfers are therefore necessary at Tanah Merah to connect to the rest of the network. Buses were one of the main methods of transport for passengers and staff until the opening of Changi Airport Station. Services operated by SBS Transit and SMRT buses uses the bus terminals in the basement level of the three main terminals, making a loop starting from Terminal 3 to Terminal 1 and 2, and back to their destination of origin. Taxi stands are within the arrival halls of the three main terminals. Accolades. Skytrax Awards, World Airport Awards, Best Airport Leisure Amenities 2008 Euro 2014, Best Airport in Asia 2010, 2013 Euro 2014, Best Airport Duty Free Shopping Award for 2008, Best Airport Dining Award 2008, Best International Transit Airport 2011 Euro 2012, Airport Star Ranking, 5-star airport, the highest category in Skytrax's World Airport Star Ranking. See also: Airport Logistics Park, References, Notes. Citations. External links: Singapore Changi Airport official site, Singapore Changi Airport Jet Key CIP Terminal official website, virtual reality view of Changi Airport Terminal 3, accident history for Sinat Aviation Safety Network, current weather for WSSS at NOAA NWS.